So the power was out. That's all in the office. It's still out
really?
in the office at the
The
moment.
power in the office is out.
Yeah, no way.
Shit.
Where are you?
I mean, weirdly,
In the office.
the recording rooms are fine,
I'm in the
but
building.
the rest of the office is not fine. So I don't know what's going on.
Sounds like a fuse has gone.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a
So
leak somewhere.
everyone's stood around looking
Could
even
be a
more
leak somewhere.
useless and
I
normal.
mean, if part of the building has gone and the other part of it hasn't, that's because the same shit happens in my fucking kitchen. We got an air fryer at Christmas, baby. I got my air fryer.
are we starting the podcast?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
we're
started.
good.
No,
Oh,
we
started.
No,
started.
we
Sorry,
gotta
there was
do
no
an intro. We
intro.
didn't even do an
That
intro.
was
All
no
right, fine.
intro.
We'll retroactively do an intro. All right, here. Welcome to
got
the
an air
Triforce
fryer for
podcast.
Christmas.
Yeah, I got an air fryer for Christmas.
Oh my god.
I know. It's.
Oh my god.
I know. It's that's my reaction now. At the
Right.
time, I was like, "Oh, I got an air fryer." I was like, "Yeah, we should get one." Everybody's harping on about him. I am a transformed man. I am
Yeah.
now fully on board.
Okay.
I just
with
wish
the
we
air
used
fryer.
ours more. It's like we don't get the opportunity to fry as much as I'd like to, but when we do use it, it's glorious.
I will say they should not have called it an air fryer. I don't know
No.
why they called it that. There's no frying involved. There's no oil. You know, I had the
Well,
visions
there's like
you
a
had to-
little tiny bit of oil. You put like a little tiny bit, don't you?
Where
In the little
On
oil
stuff.
receptacle.
we don't have
You
an
can,
oil
you can
receptacle.
put that in there.
Oh,
yeah.
you got to take that shit back and get a different one.
No, I mean we cooked a fucking we roasted chicken in 45 minutes in this bag.
God damn, was it dry like that bat
No.
that they ate on Three Amigos with the crunch?
Talking
No.
about.
It was as moist as anything.
Remember when Dusty cooked up that bat with Ned and
Oh,
Chevy
man.
What are you
Cheese or
talking
whatever?
about?
Three Amigos.
Yeah.
Okay.
You remember that scene when they're going to assault the compound and they're out on the rig. They're not real cowboys. Remember, they're
Yeah.
like Hollywood cowboys, but then they actually have to go out and do some camping and they're assaulting that town. They want to save the town.
I
Three
cannot
Amigos.
imagine a way to cook a chicken in that thing. Isn't it? It's like blows warm air over it. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
So
yeah,
how
it's-
is that? So this was my theory, and I spent a lot of time thinking about this after I was eating the chicken. Was that the air fryer is a big heating element that blows air down.
Yeah.
That is not that different from
It's
a fan
like cooking
oven.
it's just like cooking a chicken with a hairdryer.
Right, but it's
in a
like
hotel
imagine
bathroom.
if your oven was supercharged, right? Like you just turn it
shove
up
it
to
in a
11,
sink and just blow
just
it.
blam,
Yeah.
or a flamethrower. But so it's basically like that. It's just a really super fast oven.
I see.
So
Yeah.
So what you're
I-
saying is that we could get like you could see chefs like using the super hot hairdryer technique.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding.
they already
I-
do. You
I've
know?
done. I did that. This chicken was the way I saw it because it cooked in only 45 minutes. A lot of the moisture that would have evaporated in a longer oven cook, like an hour and 45 for a chicken normally, is still in there. And you do it breast side down for like 30 minutes. You turn it up 10 minutes, and then another 5 or 10 if it needs it on top to really crisp it up. It was amazing. It was really good. I've done homemade chips. I've been
Yeah.
cutting them by
Oh,
hand.
they're nice, eh? They come out
so
good. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Rub them with some oil, bit of salt, paprika, pepper, bosh it in, bam. Kids love
Yeah.
them. Great fries. So yeah, I'm loving it. I've done all kinds of stuff. in
Wow,
there.
it's changed
Great.
your life.
It's great. It's fucking
Congrats
great.
on discovering
See?
it.
Thank
See,
you.
sometimes
It's-
you just got to go along with the trend. I remember at the time you're like fucking air fryers, and now you're a converted man.
I'm converted man. Yeah.
Yes, Douglas Adams. I was reading one of his books, and one of his quotes was that anything that was around when you were born is part of the world and not newfangled at all, not interesting. I'm butchering his quote. Anything that was created, when you were 15, is like the hottest, newest, coolest thing
Oh,
ever,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like fucking changing the world. And everything that is invented when you're older than 35 is terrible. It's going to ruin the world. It needs to be
Annoying.
banned.
Yeah, it's ruined
It's
everything.
dangerous. Do you know what I mean?
That's like so for us, especially if you have kids, that's social media, isn't it? It's like the worst
and
thing.
Mobile phones.
But
for
if you're
kids,
if you're 10 and if you were 10 years old when social media hit the scene, you were like, holy fuck, this is fucking awesome. Like you just think it's the best thing.
Oh, so I remember why I mentioned the air fryer, because we were talking about fuses. So the thing is, our kitchen, we had it rewired a few years ago, and the electrician who did it was quite a cautious guy because he was like, "You've got kids, so I'll make this extra safe." I was like, "Well, I hope
that's nice of
every
him.
electrician does that." All he did was
there's condoms on condoms everywhere. There's condoms on all the plugs.
I've double wrapped all of these in rubber. You're not going to get any pregnancies here.
No pregnancies, no electro babies here, I'll tell you. No, he just means that the fuse is kind of sensitive.
Yeah.
So if we run the tumble dryer, the washing machine, and the dishwasher at the same time,
it'll blow,
the fuse goes. So I found out the other day, if I'm running the washing machine and the tumble dryer and I turn on the George Foreman, that's too much. Equally, if I have the
some of
tumble
them
dryer,
have a lot of draw.
Yeah, and the dishwasher,
like
the
a
air fryer
kettle will have a
will
lot
also
of draw.
trip it. Yeah, the air fryer will also.
We
trip
have the same thing in our kitchen. If our toaster pops while the kettle is on and the dishwasher is running, that's it. It'll trip it.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've had
weird.
the same thing, on my kitchen counter.
So I'm just saying it could be that, Lulu. Could be a fuse. Just find a
it
fuse
might be
box. It might just be a simple fuse switch.
Everyone was making their George Foreman's in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Just check one of the recording rooms. Maybe one of the Bitcoin farms tripped it or something. You never know.
Right. Yeah, one of the ones you guys got set up in here. No, this is good stuff. So did you have a good Christmas otherwise? Good New Year? This is the first recording we've done.
This is the first
Man, I'll tell you what, Christmas was like, we've got it down to like a science. We put all of our decorations up like the second week of December. No problem. Everybody had a fun time putting them up. We got all of our presents and stuff wrapped about the week before Christmas. They were all like just hiding in various places, ready to go under the tree for the big event. Everybody had a nice Christmas. We had nice couple of big lunches, sat around.
Did Santa visit?
Santa visited. We watched the new Wallace and Gromit and a whole bunch of movies.
You
and
did
stuff.
send me a picture from Christmas Day from your house, and it was like nothing I've ever seen.
It's like that every
Sips.
year, and the worst thing is we're used to it. It's not even surprising now.
Okay, it's imagine like a toy
imagine a
factory.
claymore has gone off in your living room,
and toys came out of it, like in Gary's Mod or something.
Yeah, basically,
and it's just like it's like Path of Exile 2 loot drop.
Yeah,
all over the screen.
I got 2 young daughters, so it's just Barbie clothes everywhere.
The entire floor, Flax, was like knee high in toys and presents. Not even joking.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sips' son is sat there surrounded by it all, like on his Switch. It was
Pretty
like,
much, yeah.
it was like, I'm not interested in any of these.
He was on his iPad watching YouTube. What a guy! Oh man!
It's like like sitting in a sea of presents. It's absolute
mad.
chaos.
Yeah, it is mad.
I've talked to some other people about it actually, because I was talking about that, and another of my friends said. We have very different Christmas Day, and they were talking, I'm not going to name them, but they were saying how they only open like one present and then they use it or they play with it as a family and then they do another one. They have like a very slow, organized process, whereas yours just feels like the absolute chaos incarnate.
Fuck, they're like Wolverines, man. Like, it's just like, we're sitting there and it's just like boom, 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 boom. They're just opening stuff. And they're like, well, look what I got. And you're like, oh, great. We're like still half asleep when it's all happening.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's like 6 a.m.
They're so excited though. You got to just let them. You got to let them do their thing.
I guess the difference is between like, having like microdosing Christmas over the course of a day and like having a fucking full like everything straight away, like at the same time, like heroin, cocaine.
We get
all
it all
of it.
slammed out in the morning, and then we have like a big breakfast, chill for a bit, and then we go up to my my mother-in-law's for the rest of the day. So like,
and everyone has a sleep.
Everyone wants to get
absolutely.
the hot new stuff that they want to take up there because it's well, I don't know if you remember like when you were a kid, like if on Christmas Day, if your grandparents came over or you went there or whatever, but it was always like if you had to go out, you were like, shit, I got to get all my good toys together. My grandma's house was pretty boring. Like she just didn't have cable. Like didn't have
I remember
anything.
having to pack up the Nintendo.
So you'd really have to like pack up your Nintendo or bring your Game Boy and every game you owned or whatever you got for Christmas. So like my kids are the same. They just like packed up all their Barbie clothes, and
I guess they get to prioritize what they care about the most or what they want to bring the most as well.
Yeah. My son's at the age now where 5 minutes before we're going to go somewhere where he knows he's going to be bored for some length of time, he's like trying to get like PlayStation remote play working and stuff. He's just like,
Okay.
You had hours to do this before we were going anywhere. Like, why 5 minutes before? He's getting all frustrated and stuff. But I get it.
What gets me is people who have Christmas traditions which seem to be about withholding fun, especially from kids. Like my kids wake us up, they get their stockings, they come to our room, even now that they're teenagers, they come to our room, they open their stockings, and we, it's all just little things that Mrs. F has got them. Sometimes it's stuff they need, and sometimes like makeup or something like that. And then we'll go downstairs, we'll have a cup of coffee, maybe we'll have some breakfast, and then we open the fucking presents. Well, none of this wait till after lunch shit, none of this talking about. Yeah. The only system we have is that all the presents are under the tree, everyone sits on the sofa, and my eldest has to take a present, say who it's for, and hand it to someone. And we all get to see who opened what and what everyone got. And it's nice. It takes about 30 minutes. Job done.
Oh, man. See, we're still at the stage where they're feral. Like, they're going under the tree and just getting the one for them and then running back to the chair. And you're like, come on, you got to get the ones for everyone.
Yeah.
While you're under there.
Get one for mummy. Mummy hasn't had a present yet.
Well, we don't even get any. Like we get like token stuff just to wrap, just so that we can join in or whatever. But there's like, we don't really exchange gifts or anything. It's all
we still do that.
It's just all for the kids. We don't really do anything like for ourselves. We're just empty shells of people now.
I mean, you've got three,
giving
and
up.
there's so many presents to open for the kids.
Yeah, but we just get like socks and like bits and pieces like that. But just so that like when the kids are under there rummaging around getting stuff, there is occasionally something for like me or my wife. But it's nothing like exciting,
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Some people who are like your best friends never send you anything, and other people who
I'm
are
sorry,
who you barely know.
Yeah.
What?
I sent you a calendar though.
No, you did. I got it. I loved it.
Was it an Ian Beale calendar?
No,
I'm only joking.
I kept that one for myself.
Yeah.
But sometimes, it's kind of weird who does send you presents. Sometimes you get presents from people you think you barely know, and you're like, do they think I'm like their close friend or something? It's kind of weird.
I mean, I consider us close friends, but I didn't
it's
think
fine.
we'd send presents.
No, I didn't get you a present.
I thought we just had a quiet understanding that
me and Sips do get each other presents though.
We always have, kind of, though. Well, Lewis sends us presents and we send him a calendar.
You sent me 2 calendars last year.
Shit end of the deal there for Lewis.
Didn't need 2.
2024 bumper year.
One of them was Sips always sends me like a comedy calendar, so it's like the Jersey cows or whatever. I've got a different cow every month in my kitchen, which is kind of nice. Right?
I don't exchange presents with any of my friends.
No, I don't either.
Even my best mate I've known for 40 years, we don't fucking exchange presents. It's just, but Mrs. F gets presents for all her mates. Like, that's a thing. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just a thing.
I think my wife and her friends are the same. They all get each other little thoughtful bits and pieces and stuff. But me and my friends do not.
Tell us about this other friend you've had for 40. Was he your best man? I don't know if I know who. Do we need to is he a good lad? Do we want to give him a shout out? Is he like?
It's worlds colliding. You can't combine these worlds together.
Yeah, I've known him since primary school. I consider him my absolute best friend. Genuinely, probably had the most effect on me of any of my friends in terms of like pretty much everything. Like I just
Shaping
consider
you.
him my
He
sort
molded
of
you
lightning
into the man
rod.
you are today.
Yeah, really, genuinely, which is rare, and always funny, and genuinely should have, like a lot of people that you think you should have a podcast or a book or a fucking.
Oh, right.
He's talking about me. I knew it. I knew it.
Just one of those people. And
is he just interesting and funny? Because sometimes you meet those people who are just like they're getting on with life. I guess he has kids and stuff as well, and a reasonably normal job. He works at a box factory.
No.
Well, not weird. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I have a similar friend who I was best friends with, but because I live so far away, and like we still chat, but it's not like we're not like close like we were. Obviously, he's got also 3 kids, but his 3 kids are all teenagers. And, just life just sort of takes over after a while, right? Like we're not the same guys who just used to like walk around and go to the mall and stuff like that, like we don't have like that much time, but like I still like Flax. I still consider him like, probably my all-time best friend, most like influential on my young life and stuff like that. Like lots of memories and stuff. It's good. It's good to like just catch up, like as seldom as we do, but it is nice. It's like so comforting and familiar, you know, always to know that that person is just around, and just no matter what kind of happens in your lives, even if you're not super close, like we both probably know we've got each other's back and stuff like that. You know, it's nice.
If you finally snap one Christmas,
yeah,
you know,
like if you phoned me up out of the blue and needed help or whatever, like it'd be no question, you know, like I would.
But he'd come around.
Yeah, I would.
I see.
Something like that.
He used to
you know?
listen to the podcast, my mate. I don't know if he still does. If he does, hello, how you doing, mate? But yeah, he used to.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I thought of something this week.
Go on.
Here's something that I don't think anyone. I don't think this still exists. Maybe it does, but I think it's done differently. Do you guys remember radio rentals?
No.
Is that like an American video? Is that Blockbuster?
So radio rentals was a British chain where you could hire electronic equipment from them, and you paid every
like you'd rent a radio.
Yes. So originally it was a radio.
Oh.
And then it was like TVs, VCRs, I presume everything else.
Yeah.
When
I see.
I'm thinking back to when we first moved to the UK and we were skint, and for years my mum would rent a TV from radio rentals and a VCR. And if it broke, we'd have to get the radio rentals man out to repair it.
Oh, wow.
And I was just thinking,
back in the day when you could repair, there were repairmen for stuff like that.
Your mum is British born, right? But it's your dad who's American born?
He's not American born. He's actually Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Grew up in the UK.
Right.
And then when we moved to America, he stayed when
which part of Canada?
Ottawa.
Oh my God. What's his last name? Maybe I used to babysit.
You know what his last name is. He's my dad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Of course it is.
That's true. I was hoping that we'd have like a fucking do you know who you are situation or whatever. Who do you think you are? Where like Perian has found out after 7 years of doing this podcast that Sips is his long-lost brother.
What part of Ottawa did he grow up in?
I have no idea.
Do you know what school he went to?
No. Because I think he moved to the UK when he was a baby.
Oh, okay.
So my grandmother...
How did you do that?
Well... a young person's visa, obviously.
Very outgoing child.
That's so stupid. My grandfather and my grandmother moved to the UK.
Right.
Or something.
So were they also from Ottawa though?
No, my grandmother's from Bournemouth.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Okay, what's her story? How did she end up in Ottawa then?
During the war, she met my grandfather, I think probably when he was stationed.
And your grandfather was
Canadian Air Force. Yeah.
From Ottawa?
Yeah.
CFB Petawawa?
I don't know what that means.
Fucking hell.
Sorry. But so... I mean, as far as I know, my grandparents got divorced in a similar fashion to the way my dad and my mum got divorced, which is that he left my grandmother for another woman.
Oh.
And his two kids, my uncle and my father, were left in Bournemouth with my grandmother.
And then they went to repeat the cycle.
My dad did the same thing.
The apple doesn't fall
go to
far
another
from
country,
the tree.
Yeah, and then basically send his wife and kids back to Bournemouth. So.
And now you're just about to tell us that you are going back to New York and you've left your wife and your two kids.
No.
And you're keeping the cycle alive.
The air fryer was the last straw.
There's this, it's interesting though, like, just coming back to all this, but there is like generational kind of like cycle breakers. You see this a lot, right? Where like patterns of a family, like things that like a father will do that his sons will go on to do, or like things that a mother would have done like all these cycles that repeat themselves. And then every once in a while of a generation, you'll just have somebody who's just like, no, like this sucks and I'm not repeating this cycle. I'm doing it differently. Yeah. I'm going to do it better or whatever. It's interesting, isn't it? Like that.
That's been exactly my feeling.
Yeah.
Is that this is obviously a thing that my family has done at least for the last 2 generations, maybe more. I don't know. And I know that my mum says that her parents were not particularly nice to their kids either. And I thought, and didn't really seem to like each other very much.
Yeah.
And I thought, all right, well, let's not do that. Let's be the first generation that
Is someone drilling in the background?
Yes, there's work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Work is
Sorry.
being done.
Just wanted to acknowledge that was
That's
happening.
okay.
Is it your
that's all
work
right.
or is it just
It
general?
is not my work. It's
general
just
work.
It is. I have seen this idea before, Sips, of like people of generational patterns, and I don't know whether it's just coincidence or a real thing. But it does seem strange that someone would be like, my dad left his wife, so I'm gonna leave mine. Like, that
would it
does
be
seem
weird?
a bit.
It's
Would
kind
it
of
be
odd
weird?
though. Like as you get older, you have kids and stuff. You often think about your parents, and you think like, am I like them, or am I doing the things that they did, or am I am I breaking a cycle? Like, am I doing better than they did? But it's really hard to judge.
Well, I worry though that the opposite would happen. That you would say, I don't want to be like my
I think
dad,
there are
and
two-
so I would stay in a shit
I think
relationship.
there are
Do you know what I mean?
there are several sides to how people view their parents, in my opinion. Certainly my experience, I'll put it that way. You either learn from your parents in a good way,
Yeah.
or you learn from them in a bad way. And if
Yeah,
you learn from
right.
them in a bad way, you're doomed to repeat their mistakes. If you learn from them in a good way, you become mature enough and experienced enough that you look back at the things they did and
And you
think,
can make your
"That was-
own mistakes."
That was dog shit. I'm not going to do that. I might make my own mistakes, but I'm not going to make those same stupid fucking ridiculous mistakes.
Yeah.
I think those are, and I think if you, some people just literally become their parents as they
Yeah,
get older.
but do you think it's like a lack of awareness or something? Like, do you think these people say at some point, like, "Holy shit! Like, I'm doing exactly what my dad did,"
Maybe, but I think most
or do you
people
think
just,
it's more of a subconscious thing, and
Yeah, I
and
don't
then
think-
then it's suppressed? Like
that's a
they
lot
just
of introspection to have people really analyze themselves like that. And I think people
Yeah,
are
I don't know.
reluctant to
Like,
do that.
is it though? Like, it's interesting. Like, I don't know if that requires like a lot of introspection though. Like, it seems like an obvious thing. Like, I don't know. Like,
don't know.
it's weird. But I guess most people just don't really think about it because there are
That's
a
what I'm
lot of
saying.
patterns that repeat and repeat and
Yeah.
repeat. Like,
I mean,
so,
we don't
yeah.
learn from history. Why should we learn from our own fucking
I
history?
guess so. Yeah. I'm just maybe I'm more aware than I realize then or something. But like I think about this stuff quite often. Like I
Yeah,
think
of
about
course.
my relationships with my kids and I compare them a lot to like how mine were with my parents and stuff and. Like I feel like me and my wife, we've broken a lot of like repeating cycles as well. But at the same time, it's a lot of like there's like a lot of like wear and tear that comes with that too. You're responsible and at times you feel like not the adult, like you feel like you're the adults in the situation whereas you've got people who are much older than you and should have much more wisdom and experience around you who just don't, they've started acting like children. And it just like at times we're left thinking like, well, fuck me. We've got 3 kids, but it feels like we have 10 kids because we're herding around
I
all these
know.
people who should know better.
I
You
think
know what I
that's
mean?
definitely something as a having. I mean, the thing is, I think in both instances with my parents, they didn't really have a huge amount of contact with their parents.
Right.
My mum's parents died relatively young, before I was born.
Right.
And my dad, his father obviously was in Canada, and him and his mum didn't get along. So I guess from their perspective, what their parents were like when they were older isn't something that they really had anything to do with.
I suppose. Yeah.
So for us, we've had our parents now. My parents are nearly 80, and Mrs. F's parents are nearly 80. So we've had those 4 people in our lives as a couple
Yeah.
for the whole time. So we've sort of seen them get older and madder and weirder because that's what parents do.
It
and I
seems
think
to
it's
be
made
the
us think,
case. Yeah. It's
let's
weird,
not
isn't
be
it?
like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It could be. Anyway.
Something happens to people like maybe it's like when they retire or something. I don't know. But like there is definitely a lot. I feel like a lot of like weirdness that has cropped up has come around sort of that time in people's lives. I don't know what
Yeah.
happens to people. It's like almost like maybe like a crisis or something. Maybe
I don't know.
maybe it's too much of a change at that point in their life, or
Well,
I don't know.
as I've gotten older, I've realized that, like I was talking about the pillow situation the other day, that if I sleep in a different bed or on a different pillow or the window is open too much, my back aches all day or whatever.
Yeah.
Just general old person shit.
Yeah.
If you're nearly 80, fuck me. I mean,
It's
you've
gotta
got
be,
the specter of death hanging over you every time
Every
you
time
wake
I
up
watch
in the morning.
Jeremy Kyle, I have uncontrollable diarrhea.
Exactly.
I don't know what it is. Just
So the reason they're grumpy is because it sucks being old, I'm
It
sure.
does,
and,
yeah.
you know, you everything seems to be getting faster and faster and you feel left behind.
yeah.
So, I mean, especially because, I mean, I'm nearly 50. I'm going to be 50 next year.
Oh my god.
2026, right?
Yeah.
And to me, that has gone extremely quickly. Feels like it.
Yeah.
Even though if you told me what I was doing 20 years ago, I'd be like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like it was a different me. And all the things that have happened since 2005, there's so much. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened, but it does always feel like you're just accelerating towards older and older age. So if you're that old, you must realize, Christ, I'm going to be 80. I could just
Before
go
I
any
know
minute.
it, yeah.
So I think that must be in the back of your mind
I
all
guess
the time
so.
as you get
Yeah.
old.
I guess
But then
so.
a lot of older people are like, well, if it happens, it happens. I've had a good life. And you
Yeah.
almost start to become resigned to it. So
Yeah.
either way, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you felt that way? Like a kind of a little bit like, oh God, I could die at any minute. Let's just fucking do this thing. Like, have you ever felt like, oh God, I just have to do this. I can't put it off any longer.
That's why
you know?
I'm on sertraline because of the
Oh,
constant
right.
fear of death and
So
negative
it's not
thoughts.
like you're not like you don't get paralyzed with like indecision. You're like, because imagine you're not picking a new car and you've been putting it off. Do you sometimes think, oh fuck, I can't be
I'm quite
arsed. I
decisive.
might die tomorrow. Let's just fucking do this.
No. Not for
me.
I've
feel like
never
that.
had a problem making a decision. I'll generally have a stab at a decision, and then if other people are like, oh, you probably should think about that, then I'll probably be like, I'll weigh that up. And I'm not one of those I'm an RN for 10 years kind of people.
No.
I am.
Pretty
I'm
decisive.
an Ara guy. I will not make a fucking decision. Like, do you know what I mean?
Do you know
when,
what?
when you go shopping, Lewis, let's say, because I go shopping, I needed a new jumper, right? I love jumpers. Went into a shop, that's a nice jumper, bought it, bam, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you one of these, I want to try on these 8
Okay.
jumpers and decide? Because when I go shopping, it's more like a targeted strike by a really
I want to
crack
find my
military
forever
outfit.
jumper. I want to find the one.
I'm
I'll
like
never
the
replace
special
it.
forces of shopping. Like, we've got it laid out, we go in, we're out. The target
Listen,
never sees it coming.
there's a
No
deadline-
witnesses.
Well, so okay, I was on holiday over New Year.
Yeah.
And there was I didn't realize, but there was like a do in the hotel we were staying in, and I hadn't brought a suit.
What
or
kind
any
of
black
do?
tie or
Like
anything
a
like that.
wedding?
It was like a New Year's Eve party event.
Okay, is
do.
that were you there for that, or did this
Yes.
just?
No,
right.
no, I was just in the hotel, but I had a free ticket to it because it was happening.
It was
and
a
I
reform
guest at the
party
time.
meeting, the New Year's reform.
Nigel Farage, an evening with Nigel. You had your ticket advance booked. You were ready to go.
Well, so I went away to Tenerife over New Year. I stayed at an Airbnb for a few days on the side of a mountain. It was
That
like
looked
18
nice.
degrees. It was
You
like
sent
quite
me
nice.
that picture, and it looked.
It looked really nice. It was nice.
Oh man, I was really
it
jealous.
was on the
I would have liked a
steepest-
picture. You
Oh,
could have sent
my
it
God.
to me as
Oh,
well.
sorry. I will next
I mean,
time.
I don't want presents,
Lewis
but
sent me a picture of a beautiful landscape, like next to mountains, serene,
Send
quiet.
it to me now.
I sent him a
Lewis.
picture of my swatted house over Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the
I'll send it to you.
flashbangs had gone off, and
Because you sent me
So-
a nice picture. You sent a nice picture to the group of you looking happy on holiday.
Yeah, well,
Very
it was a
slightly
lovely-
sweaty.
you
I
had
would-
glasses on in the picture. But
yeah, what's up with the specs?
what's up with the specs?
Well, I was wearing the specs. I had laser eye surgery 10 years ago almost.
Oh, is it faded?
Has it really been that long?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's supposed to fade. I think it's supposed to be but my eyesight must be slowly
You
fading.
need a
you see what
top
I mean?
up. You need to go back in and you need to get it done again. I think
It could
that's
be reading glasses. You might need those. Pretty much everyone needs those.
So, okay, I'll tell you briefly.
Where's this pic?
Brief. Oh, fuck! I put my phone down.
Oh.
I can't go through my fucking holiday snaps and
He's
like
got
also
too many
try and
snaps
remember
on
what
there.
fucking happened.
Yeah, too many snaps.
I've got loads of, when you're on holiday, there's loads of snaps. So basically, Tenerife, north side of Tenerife isn't like super hot. It is hot, obviously, but it's not like as bad as the south. The south is like a parched fucking desert.
it's not as good as 11 Reef.
It's like Las Vegas. No one lived there until everyone realized they wanted to go somewhere hot.
Wait, is this where that
in
land
winter.
went missing?
Man,
last year?
Yes,
if you sent
it is,
this
yeah.
picture to anyone, you could just say, I'm in Jersey right now. It looks just like Jersey.
Fuck off. It doesn't look anything like Jersey. Look at that.
What are you talking
There's a
about?
bloody
It
mountain in the
doesn't-
background,
Yeah.
brother. What are you chatting?
Yeah, well, except for the mountain, but like the coastal cliffs and stuff, very similar.
Very cool. Anyway, it's a very pretty place. It's very lush. Actually, the north side of south side is just
like
desert.
Jersey. Jersey's the best place in the world.
Very
You guys
lush.
should definitely come to Jersey.
And actually, it's one of these places
Have you
where
ever even been?
Have you?
I fucking live here. What are you talking about?
I don't know if you've
Jersey,
actually ever
mate.
been round. I think I've explored more Jersey than you when I came and cycled
I
around
think
the
you
island
did
that one
actually.
time.
Yeah.
I was fucking knackered. It was much
You
bigger
think
than I
there's
thought. God.
mountains in Jersey? Tips.
There's big coastal cliffs, huge ones, huge, maybe the biggest.
So,
man.
on the other side of this mountain, and if fucking the road there is like, I'm not even kidding, like whatever 60-degree fucking incline, ridiculous incline. And it was raining on the day we got there, and so the car was like slipping. Anyway, we scratched up all the fucking rental car getting into this place. Got on the bottom of it, fortunately. But there was a scary moment where I thought the car was going to get fucking stuck.
Oh man.
Like Christ. Anyway, this hair-raising place to stay, and but very beautiful. And we
I
had a
could
nice
stay
day.
there.
We walked
then.
around
That would be no problem.
Walked around this local village. You probably could have done it, Flax.
No,
but,
because I got
you
no
know.
hair. You see,
Oh,
Hair raising.
I
I'm
get it.
allowed to make those jokes.
I see. I thought you were implying that your driving was superior, which it certainly is.
You criticised my driving the one time I've ever driven you anywhere.
Where did you drive him?
Well,
Where did we go? Might have been to Tom's dad's farm.
Tom's dad's
Okay.
farm.
Yeah, we did some filming
That's
ages
some
ago.
sort of code for like a strip club or something.
No, sadly not. I get a lot of emails asking when we're actually going to take Lulu to the strip club.
There's
I don't
one
know.
like right by the office. What's it?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
flying
there's one.
tiger, the white
Urban
tiger,
tiger,
the urban
urban
tiger.
tiger,
That's
yeah.
the one.
I'm gonna need some fucking search for to go to that fucking strip club. I'll tell you what.
So we were driving. It was in the old CRV, my old CRV. I'd driven down to Bristol. I hadn't really been involved with the Yogs that long, and they did some kind of brand deal with World of Tanks, and they had to drive remote controlled tanks around. Do you remember that, Lewis?
Yes.
And I think Tom's dad owns a tank, if I remember rightly, and that
That's
was in the
correct.
shop. So
Yeah.
I was just the driver, and I thought, what have I signed up for? I'm not in this brand deal. I'm driving, and Lewis is like, "You've got to remember to signal when you change lanes." And I think it was Smithy that I was with, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and he was like, "He did signal. You just missed
Oh
it."
shit.
And I was
Okay.
like, "Backseat motherfucker, you can fucking stay
wow.
there. Never
I
driven
was-
you again."
Wow. Well, I'm a passenger princess. What can I say? So we stayed in this little village, and it's obviously somewhere that has been populated for a long time because it's quite old, quite traditional. There's some old churches and stuff around. It's all very nice, nice small village. It feels like in a little valley, right? And every house has like a gate, a big gate, like a sealed, locked gate. Every single house, and every house also has in their sort of gated front area dogs. Okay, just out all day
Oh, I hate
and barking at anyone who comes by. And I don't know what. Write in if you have any idea, but I don't know whether the people are worried about security and this is their sort of thing, or whether it's just tradition. It's just everyone has it, so everyone copies it, right? But we walk down to like the local village, and of course the shop in the village opens from I think 11 till 2 or 11 till 1 and then 5 till 7. Okay, so it was proper, they have their siesta.
Yeah,
in
they
the
have to
afternoon.
have their siesta.
So we walk
Yeah.
down to the shop, and every house the dogs are leaping up at you and barking away. And like you get to the shop and you get your stuff and you walk back. And we walked once around the village. It was every house. And actually, I felt like there was a lot of. I walked around. I saw this one house. It was like this little cage, and it had like 2 dogs in it. And they were like kind of barking away in this little cage. And I was like, oh my God, they're here like all fucking day in this little cage with no one else around. And it was like, it was kind of shocking actually to see that level of like kind of, I want to say animal neglect, but I guess I don't, as a pet owner, maybe that's fine. I'm not a pet owner.
No,
I don't know.
leaving dogs outside all the time, I think, is rotten.
And they are all barking at each other, like the cacophony of a nighttime, and you've this beautiful valley. It's just dogs. One dog barks, set all the other dogs off.
Yeah,
they
it's
all go
awful.
barking.
It sounds awful.
It's like across the whole beautiful place, and I couldn't really quite believe it. And the other thing I did was while I was there, I went to Loro Park, which is bird park.
Right.
It's like one of the best modern zoos in the world, apparently, according to them and TripAdvisor and some other people. But it's this huge, huge zoo. They've got orcas, which is obviously a problem. They've got dolphins and sea lions shows, which I went to and I thought were pretty fucking amazing, honestly.
Well, yeah, they will be, but it's kind of there's an element of cruelty involved in a lot of that.
Well, this is
too.
the thing, right? I can't go to a zoo now, and I want to sort of talk to you about it because I don't. My feeling is like I always go there with this level of apprehension. And I think everyone does now that animals should not be in cages or being captured to show off to people.
No.
And I know it's different in different parts of the world, and I know also there's a lot of reasons for it. And so for example, the orcas is the big one, right? They're these huge, amazing whales, and there was a documentary I watched. I think everyone watched Blackfish about 10 years ago about how there was an orca that was it killed a couple of its trainers, right?
Yeah.
Because it was really mistreated and wasn't looked after properly, and it was kept in a tiny, it was just, I don't know, animals shouldn't be in captivity like this. And I know that some of them are born in captivity and can't really be released into the wild because they just get eaten immediately.
Yeah.
Or they'll just, swim up to a flipping Japanese fishing boat and get harpooned, it's kind of, you've got this problem of, so on the one, so the zoo kind of presents itself as this big advocate for conservation, okay?
Yeah.
And it's very, very keen to talk about all the problems and all the cruelty and all the climate change and all the issues going on in the world and how it's trying to help with them.
Now watch Flipper go through the hoop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cheer for him, kids.
That.
Knock on the glass. He loves it.
Exactly. And also, like, I think it is owned by like a multinational conglomerate of like, they've got hotels and other theme parks and other stuff too. They're a for-profit business, right? Yeah. And so I don't see how those two things can really square. I realize they are it's better than nothing, but at the same time, like, and also I if you've got these orcas, okay, they've obviously got these very, very big tanks for them, but they're huge anyway. Like, and I worry that, like, on the one hand, giving them this show to do is some sort of enrichment, right? It's like a job, and it's kind of they're interacting, they're doing, there it is enrichment, right? It's not nothing. It would be worse to just leave them in a tank on their own, right? But on the other hand, like, you can't let them out. I don't know, like there's this whole, it's so difficult for me to kind of put it all down in my head and how I feel about it.
Well, look, think about it this way. If you see something like an orca or an elephant or anything like that in captivity, that's the equivalent to you being put in a tiny 6 foot by 6 foot cell, and compare that with how much land or ocean that animal would cover in its lifetime. And although it might be a tough life, they would be free. And you look at orcas, they fucking travel thousands of miles in their lifetime, easily.
Yeah.
And now you're like, well, here you go, have a fucking tiny cell to live in. Now, there are some animals that you're perfectly fine whacking in captivity. I don't think it's a problem at all. But when I look and I see a snake or a lizard that's just in a fucking tiny glass box, it's nice to look at the animals. I get it. But at the same time, it's pretty fucking inhumane.
Yeah, but
like,
do not let that snake out of there. Please.
Let them all out
Don't
at once.
do it.
I'm saying have a special zoo session. Snakes, spiders, scorpions,
keep those spiders contained. We
and
don't
all
want
the
them
lights
out
go
here.
out. All the lights go out. It's like that bit in Cabin in the Woods when the doors open and all the monsters come out at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what I want at the zoo. Let them out.
Fucking hell.
I think we just need to be phasing out.
I think I think there's a lot of good conservation trusts that actually don't just talk about it, but do a lot of conservation stuff.
I mean, there are some good zoos. There genuinely are.
Yes.
And I think some of them do some good work. A lot of these animals that they have are rescued animals.
Yeah.
And it's not like they've gone out and fucking tranked an elephant and dragged it to the zoo.
No, I mean, even in Longleat at the safari park, they've got an elephant, but it's a rescue elephant. It was in a circus and it was abused and everything.
Right. So that's a
and she's
positive.
got this
That's
huge. She's got a huge shed that she lives in with like tons of space for her to walk around and stuff like that. And she's
a shed a house.
She's old, so you know what I mean. It's not like I think for her that's fine. You know what I mean?
It's like a retirement home.
Yeah, kind of.
And
she's had a really tough life, and now she can just
like, this is
she can just be taken care of and relax a bit.
It's not like there aren't people who are doing wonderful work and obviously caring greatly for all these animals and loving them and making a lot of effort, and there's huge amounts of people who do volunteer work at these places to help, and obviously a lot of these breeding programs can help get endangered animals back into the wild, and that is, and it is a relatively small number, they've actually got in captivity, compared to how many sometimes are out there. And especially if they're adding hundreds more out into the world, and they're keeping 4 or whatever that can't be released, it's not so. And also, I think having been to Japan and seen some of the animal cruelty over in different countries, I think they have a very different attitude towards animals than we do in their culture. And certainly I've seen, when I went there with my partner, they were crying, about stuff that was going on, that they saw with animals chained up and, animals like hurting themselves and stuff like this because they were in horrible conditions. And I think it's not, I think this zoo was much better than some of them. But I also think that part of the reason that there is an influence. Okay. So the part of the reason that this Loro Park has orcas is because they got them in like 2001. They leased them from SeaWorld, right? And I think the problem is that SeaWorld, had this big American orca show, and it's very Americanized, right? The show they have in Tenerife, right? There's a steakhouse you can go to afterwards. There's a splash zone. It's got a kiss cam, or or whatever. Like it zooms in on people and tries to on the big monitors. You see what I mean? It feels like you're at a ball game. And it's kind of very strange to see that. And it's obviously because the cultural influence has done it. And so I think that you can very easily see people in China or people in the countries where they don't have as good animal welfare, saying, oh, look, they're doing this and it's popular. It's making loads of money. Let's set up our own. I think it is dangerous in that sense, right?
Maybe.
So I was a bit upset about it, but a very impressive zoo overall. And I thought they were doing a lot of good stuff, and I like birds too. So like the thing is,
I like birds as well, mate.
I like birds.
I love birds.
The thing I found about Loro Park was it's obviously started off as a parrot park, right? And they've got like 3,000 parrots there. Or whatever,
it's not
which
fair
is a
to
lot.
lot of birds in cages, though, is it, mate?
And so interestingly, what they have, rather than have like a separate area for the birds, they've got like kind of birds everywhere.
It's 2025, mate. I'm not dropping this.
So
please don't.
So everyone else would be staring at the lions or whatever.
I'm staring. He's over here staring at the birds.
Looking the other way.
You know what I mean?
Looking up.
He can't stop looking at the fucking birds.
I'd be looking at the tits and the little. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
I was thinking of a couple of things. I've been on Blue Sky lately because it seems a bit more chill.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at things that I've posted on here that I don't remember. This one was 3 days ago, but I would like to talk about it. I posted a picture of a roller coaster ride in a shopping mall. Okay. Now, if you look at, I'm just pairing Flax on Blue Sky. If you want to see the picture for anyone listening, it's just 3 chairs. They're like benches, like you'd have in an old theme park, right? 3 of those in a row.
Yeah.
Then there is. How can I pop the picture? I'll pop it in the Discord so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So there you go.
It looks like a sleigh in front of a monitor.
Yeah, so it's like 3 things. Looks like a Santa's sleigh.
It looks like Santa's sleigh, except there's a TV right up.
Yeah,
there's a TV in the front.
Yeah.
And fans either side of the TV, little fans, and then behind
it says,
that,
please select experience. It looks like a shitty fairground ride.
It's really bad.
It looks like that. It looks like the fairground from Father Ted. When they have the the craggy
it's
island.
It's a spider with the mind of a baby.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So that's, as you can see, there's like a really, really bad broken bit of, what do they call that thing? Where you have a barrier, like that thing.
Yeah,
so
like
it's
a cordon.
Sort of a cordon. So it's sort of cordoned off. There's obviously a big sound system behind. So you have to go in there, presumably you pay. It's got those little shitty steps to get up into it. It is the saddest fucking thing. And it is right in the middle of the ground floor of the Benthall shopping centre in Kingston. So everybody, if you were on it, everyone else could look down and see you being a twat on this fucking thing. The whole time we were there, nobody even went near it. Somebody came up with this idea and it was okayed. And they acquired all of these things and they carefully laid it out and they set it up and everything like that. For what? What is this shit? It's so fucking annoyingly bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just appalled that it's still it exists. This exists. And it made me sad. Anyway,
I wonder, like, the thing is, like, you see this stuff like in a snapshot in time, like you'll be there, you'll see it and you'll be like, fuck, nobody uses this. if you watch CCTV of like that thing all day, it's got to be used a couple of times. I would love to see people using something like this.
Who are these people?
Just to see,
who looks at that and thinks
I want to
fun?
know who's using it, and I want to gauge how much fun they're having on it.
Yeah, I
or
really
if they
would
just
love
look
to do
fucking miserable like the whole time. Because I feel like
I'd like to talk to them before and after. I'd like to, when they're about to go and say, sorry, I just want to ask, why did you choose to go on this ride? Oh, it looked fun. Really, that looked fun.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how fun did it look? And then afterwards, be like, how was it? And they're like, oh, shit.
maybe I'm not fun, but that to me does not look fun.
It doesn't look anything like fun. It looks terrible.
I can't really describe fun that sort of precisely, but to me, that does not at all look fun. Like, I
looks the
wouldn't
opposite of
even
fun.
Consider it in a million years to
it's just awful.
waste my time.
It doesn't even look dangerous. At
No.
least there'd be some element of anticipation of danger.
This looks like that shitty Willy Wonka experience or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's
It
just
looks
dog shit.
stupid.
There is a lot of dog shit. Can I say I've just read through your Blue Sky post,
Oh,
Flax. They are fucking gold. Here's one. Pikachu is meant to be a mouse. Have the lads that made him ever actually seen a mouse?
Yeah, I'm confused. I didn't think it was a mouse.
Hey, what's Blue Sky like? Because Twitter is insane now.
Oh my god!
I made the mistake of opening it the other day. I haven't been on for quite some time, and that cannot be real people making those posts.
Unbelievably bad.
Unbelievably bad.
It's really so
here's
bad.
the thing: it's too many people don't have any idea what's going on and just use it because they keep using it and they're just on autopilot. They don't have time to change. They don't know there's an alternative. No one's ever heard of an alternative. They can't. It's the same thing probably. What's going to happen with honey, which we haven't talked about.
Yes,
I
I've
don't
had
know.
several
I don't know
emails
much
about this.
I've heard bits and pieces, but like I don't know the full story.
Well, there's a really good video.
There
that
is a good video about
made.
it. You can find it. He basically found out, apparently this was known, but he like publicized it a bit, that if you have a code, like for example, enter code Triforce
is this like
at
the
checkout.
coupon thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
This
the
is
coupon
the
lady,
thing.
that
The
lady.
coupon one.
Yeah.
The coupon.
So that lady,
yeah.
they would intercept that code at checkout and they would take the commish.
Oh.
And you would get like 2p instead of a bunch of money.
Right.
0p.
So that was
Yeah.
what they did. And
So
they've been doing that for years and taking tons
well,
of
honey
money.
obviously it got bought by PayPal. It's worth $3 billion.
Right.
It was
and
bought, I
Markiplier,
think it was bought for $4 billion actually.
well, huge amount. Anyway,
Yeah.
Markiplier did a post in 2020 saying there's something fishy about it's a quite viral video. It's quite good actually. You'll see it. But he was like, there's something weird about honey. How do they make their money? It turns out they make their money by getting the referral code, right? And stealing it regardless of what referral code you've put in previously.
Right.
So imagine like one of the examples he used on the video was really amazing. It's like a NordVPN thing. NordVPN sometimes give like 40 or 50 pounds for a referral code, right? Or bucks or euros or whatever it was. But Honey will just take that if you have it installed. And all you have to, even if they don't give you a discount,
so they never offer it to you. They just take it.
They take that. Well, no, they take other people's.
The person using Honey gets the discount, but the referral money goes to Honey instead of the person whose referral code they were using.
Okay.
So the example he used was, imagine you're in a shop and there's a salesman there, and when you say, I want to buy this telly, he gives you a business card and says, give this to the cashier so I get my commission. And at the checkout, Honey comes in and takes his card and slides their card into your hand, and you hand that over to the cashier.
Right.
So she gives the commission to the wrong guy.
I'm making sure I'm understanding perfectly because I'm trying to think up some other ways to make money 2025.
Right.
And this is really interesting.
Oh, there you go.
Really interesting.
It's a really interesting one. Anyway, it's a really good video. You should definitely watch it. But obviously, it's kind of crazy because this sort of has kind of flown publicly, but not really. People did not realize how it worked. I think there's also problems with Honey, like colluding with companies to not give the best discount codes.
No doubt.
So, for example, Honey will have like a deal with someone that they have a 10% discount code or something like this, and then they get this cut. Whereas it would hide bigger discount codes. You see what I mean? So they don't give you the best discount. Turns out they're doing some shady shit.
So in short, we completely retract any support of honey that we ever had, and they can go fuck themselves.
That old lady is going to have to get her
She's being
coupon
strangled
code
somewhere right
discount
now.
purse back
Well,
out.
no, she was right all along. She was reluctant because she was relying on her coupon book.
Right.
God,
She
I didn't
was
realize.
a
You know,
fan
I
of.
did not realize it was the same one that we did ads for. Like, I thought it was something
everyone
completely
did. Like,
different.
it was huge because they had this business that suddenly was making them so much money from all these referral codes. Because that's kind of so much of the internet is referral codes, and to its detriment, to be honest. Like AI now, I don't know if you tried to use the internet in the last year, but
No,
AI
I
is
don't.
fucking everywhere.
I don't really use it much.
Never heard
and
of
it's
it anymore.
disgusting.
Too busy watching the birds, you know what I mean?
It's kind of out of control and a lot of it is powered through referral codes, right? Like, so for example, people will be like, "Oh, I need a new toaster. What's the best toaster?" And there'll be a website and it will be all referral code links to toasters,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so again, you can't get a real toaster review because people are just throwing up these AI pages or quickly making these things to reap the referral codes. They just look at toasters on Amazon with the best referral codes for me to get a big cut, and that's number one on their toaster review. Do you see what I mean? It's all money. It's, the internet is, and everything is. And this is the world we live in. It's all money based, obviously. That's what makes the world go round.
But it's not honest money.
But
That's the problem.
not. It's the worst. It's worse than it's ever been.
Yeah.
And I think Honey is incredibly dishonest with the way it is acting, especially when someone like, you look at someone like Linus Tech Tips or whatever, these big YouTubers who review things and actually do review them. They make a lot of their money from referral codes, right? So they have the links to the things they're reviewing in their description. You click that and it will give you a little cookie and then they'll get a kickback when that thing's sold. But of course, Honey's paying those guys to advertise Honey, and it's effectively taking their referral code.
Oh my
It's pretty
God.
fucking ballsy.
It's pretty ballsy.
But you know
Like,
what? People were like, I don't get how they make their money. Something's fishy here. Trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Trust your instinct. Oh, fuck,
Yeah.
that reminds me of something. This week. So my youngest likes to buy things on, she buys stuff on Vintage. She buys stuff on Amazon. She's a real bargain
On the
hunter.
internet?
On the internet. So
is this okay? Didn't you tell me
my
that
God.
something they bought something really shit and then were like angry that it was shit and you were like, well, they paid £1 for it.
So she ordered a wig and it was a scam wig, as she put it.
So she's the one fucking buying wigs. I talked about this.
Yes,
the
scam
AliExpress
wig.
thing. Well, because
Yeah.
you go to the front page of AliExpress and it's fucking wigs.
Dude, my kids love buying stupid wigs. So she,
Even today, you go there, go AliExpress.com, wigs.
I know, I'm
Your
sorry.
It's
I know,
children.
I know, I'm
It's
sorry.
children who
Why
buy
is it
the
okay
wigs.
for kids to buy dumb wigs, but it's not okay for grown men to buy a realistic looking wig?
So she
Riddle
ordered
me
a wig,
that.
and it cost like £2 or whatever,
Right.
and it arrived, and it was rubbish. And she was in tears. She was like, I bought a scam wig. It's a scam wig. And I said, love, it cost £2. You got exactly what you paid for. So she upped it to a little bit more. Now she's very good about buying things. She's pretty smart. She bought some matcha powder, which is like, I don't know what it is.
Oh,
You put
God,
it
I
on
wouldn't buy
coffee.
food.
No, it's fine. She got it on Amazon. It's fine. So
Okay.
she got she's on the ordering thing, and it
Green
says,
tea powder. It's normally expensive, matcha, by the way.
well, it was £2. All right.
Oh, God.
From
I
a,
wouldn't drink it.
from
What
a
the fuck are
company
you doing?
called Bulk. I think they're called Bulk.
Man,
Bulk.
Anyway.
you got to
Yeah,
tell your
bulk.
daughter to be careful because she could
She's
get, she
fine.
could
She
get
knows what she's
flagged
doing.
as like somebody who's assembling bombs or something. Like this is all
No,
weird
no.
shit. Like
What, matcha powder and wigs?
yes,
MI5 are onto you already.
yeah.
Sir, we got another one. Matcha powder and wigs.
The command
My
center
God,
is
it's
going
gonna be-
crazy right now. The alarms are
It's
off.
Stockholm all over
We
again.
not.
Get the best team we've got. Find them. What are they going to be wearing? Wearing wigs.
Oh my god.
Bunch of people wearing wigs. Anyway, she goes to say where she wants it delivered, and you have to pin one of the delivery points on the map. And then she says, oh no, wait, I can get it delivered to home. So she switches to that, but she's already clicked on somewhere. So long story short, it ended up being delivered to the wrong address. And it was a place above a corner shop. So
Okay.
she says to me, I went into the corner shop after school because I got the email saying that it was delivered. And he said to me, the guy behind the counter said to me, oh no, it's probably gone to the flat upstairs. You need to go down this alleyway and go up the staircase and knock on their door. And if they're home, they'll have it. Happens all the time. So she's with a friend of hers, and he opens this creaky wooden gate, and he's like, it's down that alleyway and up the stairs. And he goes, don't worry, it's a couple of ladies that live there. And they're looking at him like, this doesn't feel good. And it's really narrow, shady alleyway, and they're going down it, and he's like standing at the end of the alleyway with his arms sort of like waving them on, like
It's from
just there
like
on
the
the left.
scene from Goodfellas.
Just like Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
I told Mrs. F. That's like with Karen. Karen, I got you some nice dresses
Yeah,
and
go
coats.
in
Just
there.
pick
Go
them
in there.
right in there. And she looks in, there's two shady dudes in there. So she comes home and she tells me this story that they got there and there was no one at the door and they left. And she was telling me how it didn't feel right. I didn't want to do it. And it just, all my instincts were saying, don't go down this alleyway. But I just felt it would be rude and blah, blah, blah. And I said, trust your fucking instincts every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Our species has evolved to have instincts. When something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right.
Yeah.
Don't go down that alleyway. Your brain is saying, don't go down that alleyway. But your socialized norms and politeness are making you say, oh, I can't say no because that'd be rude. Fuck all that. You just say, I'll come back later with my dad.
Exactly.
And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And we went down there and I was like, love, I wouldn't have gone down this fucking alleyway because it looks like I'm going to get mugged. Like it's the narrowest, darkest fucking alley. And then you round this back, it's all rubbish in this shady area. Luckily, it was just it genuinely was a couple of students, young girls that lived there. So it was fine. But I was like, love, trust your instincts. You can't be making these bad choices. So lesson learned. But if you're out there, if you have bad instincts, trust them. Trust them.
Yeah. If you see a bald man coming down your narrow alleyway,
throw matcha powder at him until he runs away.
throw a wig on him. Disarm
Take
him.
the wigs. Take them all.
Fucking hell.
Fuck.
I feel like we have barely scratched the surface of things to talk about this week.
That's
but,
good, though. We'll
that
have
is-
loads to talk about next week.
That's all we got time for. Oh my God. What a podcast. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank you so much.
I
We'll
hope
see you
you
next
guys
time.
had a good Christmas.
Yeah,
and
I
I
hope
hope
so
you have
too.
a great new year.
Happy 2025.
All right.
We're off to
Happy
a
2025.
cracking start.
Yeah,
See ya.
2025. Bye.